What should the driver of the car approaching the crossing do? Slow down and get ready to stop. Do you need to plan rest stops when you're planning a long journey? Yes, regular stops help concentration. What should you do if you become tired while you're driving on a motorway? Leave the motorway at the next exit and rest. You're approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the traffic lights have failed? Be prepared to stop for any traffic. Why are vehicle mirrors often slightly curved, convex? They give a wider field of vision. What should you do as you approach this overhead bridge? Be prepared to give way to large vehicles in the middle of the road.
Oncoming large
Why should the junction on the left be kept clear? To allow vehicles to enter and emerge. Why should you slow down as you approach this hazard? Because of the level crossing. You're driving on a one-way street. What should you do if you realize you've taken the wrong route? Continue and find another route. You're driving a car fitted with automatic transmission. When would you use kick down? To accelerate quickly. What should you do if the vehicle starts reversing off the driveway? Sound your horn and be prepared to stop. What's the main hazard you should be aware of when following this cyclist? The cyclist may swerve into the road. What should you do if a driver pulls out of a side road in front of you, causing you to brake hard? Ignore the error and stay calm. You're about to drive your car. What should you do if you can't find the glasses you need to wear? Find a way of getting home without driving. What does this signal from a police officer mean to oncoming traffic? Stop. Why are place names painted on the road surface? To help you select the correct lane in good time. When may you use hazard warning lights? When driving on a motorway to warn traffic behind of a hazard ahead. What should the driver of the grey car be especially aware of? Doors opening on parked cars. What should you do if a doctor prescribes drugs that are likely to affect your driving? Get someone else to drive. You're behind this cyclist. When the traffic lights change, what should you do? Allow the cyclist time and room. What hazard should you be aware of when traveling along this street? Children running out between vehicles. What should you do if you begin to feel drowsy while you're driving? Stop and rest as soon as possible. What should you do as you approach this cyclist? Slow down and allow the cyclist to turn. What's the main hazard shown in this picture? The cyclist crossing the road. How should you drive or ride in areas with traffic calming measures? At a reduced speed. A driver's behavior has upset you. How can you get over this incident safely? Stop and take a break. Which type of vehicle should you be ready to give way to as you approach this bridge? Buses. You've been involved in an argument that's made you feel angry. What should you do before starting your journey? Calm down. What should you do if it's raining and you're following this lorry on a motorway? Be aware of spray reducing your vision. What type of vehicle could you expect to meet in the middle of the road? Lorry. What can you do to help prevent tiredness on a long journey? Take regular refreshment breaks. What should you do if you start to feel drowsy while you're driving on a motorway? Open a window and stop as soon as it's safe and legal. You intend to turn left at the traffic lights. What should you do just before turning? Check for bicycles on your left. What should you do if the red lights start flashing as you approach a level crossing? Stop before the barrier. What should the driver of the red car, arrowed, do? Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. What does the solid white line at the side of the road indicate? Edge of the carriageway. Why should you reduce your speed here? A staggered junction is ahead. You're driving towards this left-hand bend. What danger should you be anticipating? Pedestrians walking towards you. What must you do if poor health affects your driving? Inform the licensing authority. Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? People may cross the road in front of it. You're following a slower moving vehicle. What should you do if there's a junction just ahead on the right? Only consider overtaking when you're past the junction. You want to turn left at this junction. What should you do if your view of the main road is restricted? Approach slowly and edge out until you can see more clearly. What should you do if you think the driver of the vehicle in front has forgotten to cancel their right indicator? Stay behind and don't overtake. What will become more expensive after you've been convicted of driving while unfit through drink or drugs? Insurance premiums. What must you do if your eyesight has become very poor and you're no longer able to meet the driver's eyesight requirements? Tell the driver licensing authority. Which road user has caused a hazard? The parked car, arrowed A. Why should you check the information leaflet before taking any medicine? Some types of medicine can affect your ability to drive safely. You're driving on a road with several lanes. What do these signs above the lanes mean? The two left lanes are open. You need glasses to read a vehicle number plate at the required distance. When must you wear them? Whenever you're driving. What will be a serious distraction while you're driving? Looking at road maps. You're driving on this dual carriageway. Why may you need to slow down? There are roadworks ahead of you. How does drinking alcohol affect your driving behavior? It increases confidence. You've just been overtaken by this motorcyclist. What should you do if the rider cuts in sharply? Keep a safe gap. What advice should you give to a driver who has had a few alcoholic drinks at a party? Go home by public transport. What should you expect if you see this sign ahead? The road will bend sharply to the left. You're on a 3-lane motorway. How should you overtake a slow-moving lorry in the middle lane if it's showing this sign? Approach with care and overtake on the left of the lorry. What should you do if the traffic in the left-hand lane is slowing? Slow down, keeping a safe separation distance. What must you do if your ability to drive is impaired during a period of illness? Stop driving until you're fit to drive again. Which type of glasses would make driving at night more difficult? Tinted. What type of vehicle displays this yellow sign? A school bus. You're about to drive home. What should you do if you feel very tired and have a severe headache? Wait until you're fit and well before driving. You're waiting to emerge at a junction. Your view is restricted by parked vehicles. What can help you to see traffic on the road you're joining? Reflections of traffic in windows. What must you do at this junction? Stop behind the line, then edge forward to see clearly. You take some cough medicine given to you by a friend. What should you do before driving your car? Check the label to see if the medicine will affect your driving. Where would you expect to see these markers? On a large goods vehicle. Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are they particularly dangerous? Traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake. Where would it be unsafe to overtake? Approaching at junction. What can seriously reduce your ability to concentrate? Drugs. Why must you take great care when emerging from this junction? The view is restricted. When should you use hazard warning lights? When your vehicle has broken down and is causing an obstruction. What should you do about driving if you've been taking medicine that causes drowsiness? Avoid driving and check with your doctor. You're driving towards this level crossing. What would be the first warning of an approaching train? A steady amber light. How would age affect an older person's driving ability? They'll take longer to react to hazards. What type of vehicle uses an amber flashing beacon on a dual carriageway? A tractor. How can drinking alcohol affect your ability to drive or ride? Your ability to judge speed will be reduced. You're invited to a pub lunch. What should you do if you know that you'll have to drive in the evening? Don't drink any alcohol at all. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car, arrowed, should be aware of? The bus may move out into the road. What might you expect to happen in this situation? Traffic will move into the left-hand lane.